My surname is Chen. From Guangzhou. I started cultivating Dafa in 1996. I went abroad more than 10 years ago and I have been in America, Canada and Australia. When I was studying Dafa in Guangzhou more than 20 years ago, there were many young followers who cultivated very well, which made a deep impression on me. I once went to the Wushan station in Tianhe district to study Dafa. At that time, I saw a young man with a light beard who spoke slowly. But what he said was very correct. It was obvious that he had a deep understanding of Dafa. He is Shi Huiwen, a graduate student of South China University of Technology and a counselor in Wushan Station, who was highly regarded by Guo Dawei. At that time, Guo Dawei was the Dean of Food Academy in South China University of Technology, a third prize winner of National Science and Technology Prize, a member of Guangdong Provincial Committee of Political Consultative Conference, and one of the 5 directors in Guangzhou Wushan Station, who once had direct access to Master Li. After Shen Xinlian, who was the chief in Guangzhou Station, died of a heart attack in 1998, Guo Dawei took up his post to become the new chief, which wasn't known by the public, in order to cover up the news of Shen Xinlian's death. Later, Guo Dawei left for the United States to serve as the director of Global Renunciation Center before July 20, 1999. After graduation, Shi Huiwen worked as a technical backbone in Guangdong Iron and Steel Research Institute, and he made contribution to the research of magnetic plastics. He once gave me a few pieces of magnetic plastics he developed to play. In 1998, he became one of the 10 chiefs of Wushan Station. He is very hard-working and has high prestige among young followers. At the beginning of 1996, more than a dozen of young university followers in Wushan district began to organize collective Dafa learning. Shi Huiwen was the main organizer. At that time, there was no collective Dafa learning until the publication of Interpretation of Dafa. There was a counselor named Guo Jimin, from South China Agricultural University. He told the other followers that we cannot be compared to Shi Huiwen, who is our real example. I have also talked with Shi Huiwen for many times and I think he is really high-minded and indifferent to fame and wealth. I have ever heard that he even gave others his nice houses given by the Steel Research Institute, so I was very impressed with him. He married in 1999. His wife is Dru Yuhong, also a fellow practitioner, and her family all cultivate Dafa. Some of my followers and I also ate the wedding candies given by them. In 2000, he had an accident and was sentenced to 4 years. After release, he went back to work at the Steel Research Institute. It wasn't until 2007 that he had another accident. After that, he was cautious and I never saw him again. After going abroad, I often inquired about him from my fellow initiates in Guangzhou. But the news was not good. For example, Shi Huiwen's mother-in-law died of suppuration at Everyport a few years ago. At that time, many followers were there to read the Dharma wheel to her, but it did not work. While Shi Huiwen's hair had turned white long ago and fellow practitioners nicknamed him Lao Bai. Sometimes, he would vomit blood. In 2016, thanks to the hematemesis, the detention center did not dare to accept him. So he was not in custody. Some fellow initiates said that he was losing karma, and some said that he was instructed by Master to deliberately vomit blood in front of the police, so that he would not be caught. At first I believed it, too, but at the beginning of last year, I heard of Shi Huiwen's death from one of my fellow initiates in Guangzhou. I was surprised to hear that, so I asked for confirmation, but everyone said so, and I heard that finally Shi Huiwen was sent to the hospital. Since you are a Dharma disciple, do you need to be sent to the hospital? Did you really believe in Dafa? Besides, Shi Huiwen was such an excellent Dharma disciple. Shouldn't he be protected by Master? If even a great Dharma disciple like Shi Huiwen cannot avoid an early death, he was just 50 years old, who can be free from pain and be successful in cultivation. Therefore, Shi Huiwen's death caused a great psychological blow to the Guangzhou Dafa circle. Almost all fellow practitioners felt depressed. As a fellow initiate, I don't know how to evaluate it. As an ordinary person, I feel a pity. To be honest, with such good ability, he could have had a good life. There is another fellow practitioner who is also well known in Guangzhou Dafa circle. His name is Shan Jinqing. He started cultivating Dafa in 1994 and he once participated in Master's Dafa course. So he is also very successful. He was not well educated and worked as a train line maintainer at Guangzhou East Railway Station. He is very arrogant and he often told us that thanks to the cultivation, his kidney disease choler be cured so that he could have a son. He once had 2 car accidents, but he were completely unscathed. These are all due to Dafa. I have seen him several times. Although I don't like his arrogance. After all, he is not only an old fellower who have seen our master, but also has his own magical experiences. So we all respect him. He said he can retire a few years early from his job and he was going to cultivate Dafa every day in his hometown Jingqing after retirement. In March of this year, I suddenly received a message from my fellow initiates in Guangzhou, saying that Shan Jinqing also passed away. He may have suffered a stroke because at the end of last year he was already in a wheelchair. But he was not going to the hospital certainly. Just a few months later, he was gone. He has just retired and it is a pity that he has not enjoyed his retirement life. He is the second famous fellower to die in Guangzhou after Shui Wen. Of course, there have been other less well-known young fellowers died in this year. But Shi Huiwen and Shan Jinqing are the 2 famous figures on station master and old fellower level, who are very authoritative in Guangzhou Dafa circle. For 2 consecutive years, Guangzhou Dafa circle has lost young heavyweight figures. I believe this case may happen in other big cities, because most older fellowers passed away. And now it's turn of the younger ones. Many people think that the more refined the cultivation of Dharma disciples, the sooner they pass away. It's very terrible. And when they go, they looked horrible, not like the death of Buddhist monks, which has all kinds of auspicious phase. I didn't dare to say it to my fellow initiates, for fear that they would say I was a demon. But it's strange that many people, who are regarded as demons by Dafa, live a long, healthy and happy life. That's why. Being a firm Dharma disciple or being a demon, which one do you think is better? I am waiting for your answers.